Philly, Oakland, Chicago, the Big D, the Big Apple, or just any town USA. Pick one. Chances are it's there. What am I talking about? At-risk youth, a problem that has plagued our society for decades. No matter where you go or who you are, you may know one, you may have helped one, have been harassed by them, ignored them, but chances are you've been exposed to the problem. You've heard the sayings, it takes a village to raise a child, each one teach one. Well, ALFONZO May has decided to do just that. He stopped by to tell us about his organization, his dream, and his plan.
The reason I started to program here, she's fed up with the teen violence, you know, the lives being taken.
Hello and welcome. Today I have with me Mr. ALFONZO May, President and CEO of Words of Wisdom Mentoring and Outreach Services. Hello, Mr. May, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, Mr. May, tell us what WOW is all about.
It's about mentoring our at-risk young adults in the city and across the nation and bringing them awareness as it relates to gang violence, peer pressure, teen pregnancy, and all the negative things that's surrounding our young adults nowadays.
So, Mr. May, what experience do you bring to this challenge?
I work for an organization, SKIP, which is saving kids of incarcerated parents, and True Builders, I believe, is the name of the organization that helps at-risk youth. Our youth nowadays are at a disadvantage as it relates to today's world and what's going on in today's world. There was only two ways to end what I was doing. It was either death or going to jail, and I never saw either of those two as a benefit.
So what are some of the negative things you've experienced in gang life?
I've been to countless funerals with friends, associates that have, may they rest in peace, passed on. And I have friends that have been in jail for 4 years. I have a good friend right now that's still locked up for, you know, a gang situation. And it's 23 years as we speak right now.
What caused you to get into life in the first place?
My mother, bless her heart, she was a drug addict. And while she was still my mother and I loved her, and she did everything she could in her power to keep myself and my sisters away from what she was doing, I rebelled because I figured, you know, if she's doing it, why can't I go out there and do this? I grew up on 8 Mile. I ran with the 8 Mile Smurfs, the 8 Mile Sconies, and it was just, it led me to be a drug dealer, gang banger, and just an all-around thug.
How did you get out?
Fortunately enough for me, I had some influences to steer me away. Some of our reverends, my grandmother, who constantly prayed for me, you know, individuals in the neighborhood, older guys that were in the gang that saw something different in me, that knew I shouldn't really be in the gang. But more importantly, December 10th, 1987 was when my change came about, was when I had my child.
So how did you get involved in the Muskegon Heights project?
Michelle Harris, bless her heart, who's a friend of mine, who, as a female, was part of a gang, who did some things as a female that you wouldn't think a female would do. But in the reality, it's something that happened. And she got fed up like I was fed up. The reason I started to program here, she's fed up with the teen violence, you know, the lives being taken, you know, be it for death or be it them going to jail. She decided that, you know, enough is enough. So she conducted a Stop the Violence rally, hood love or street love versus community love. And she knew WOW was my passion. And she knew that I've worked with those organizations that I mentioned before, strategic builders, as a matter of fact, as well as SKIP. And she wanted me to be the guest speaker because of my background, what I've been through, and the real life experiences that I can offer to the kids.
So Al, what makes your program different than the others?
there's a lot of mentoring programs going on, but a lot of those organizations, a lot of those programs talk about real life experiences, but a lot of those people have never been through the real life experiences. And those that have been in the real life experiences, some people are afraid, like I was, to even explain what those real life experiences were like. Me personally, I ran from this for a long time, simply because who would listen to an ex-drug dealer? Who would listen to an ex-gangbanger? Who would listen to an ex-thug? But in reality, listen to my associate pastor, Reverend Michael Harris. Who better to tell him than somebody that's been through the war?
So what did you do at Muskegon Heights, and what were the results?
We did the Stop the Violence rally, which was very interesting. Kids were unruly, but I attribute that to, again, not having anybody that's been through the real life experiences. As we garnered their attention and the program continued to go on, their attention was captured because of some of the real life experiences that I've been through. And it turned out to be a positive and a great success. So much so that they invited me on their local radio station.
Real life experiences, they tend to...
How did that go, and why was it important to you?
The importance of it is reaching out to everyone, because it's not just an epidemic in Detroit. I never knew Muskegon was that spiraling that much out of control. Michelle sent me some articles through the newspaper, and I read some of them, and it's like, wow, it's really spiraling out of control. So it's important because what other way to get the message out? Through mass media, through news media, so that people can see, you know, it's not something that people are running away from. It's something that I'm taking on head first. I'm diving straight into this because this generation is our future. And without our future, we're going to be a lost world. And again, I mean, real talk, real life experiences helps out with that, simply because, again, you know, when you have somebody that's been through the war, that survived the war, and that can talk about the war, I think it's a better attention grabber than someone that hasn't been there trying to reach out to them.
You got into the game at an early age. You knew the chances of survival were slim. Tell our viewers the story that you told to the kids at Muskegon Heights.
Well, at 15 years old, that started my drug peddling days. That's when I was introduced to trying to be this drug dealer, this gangbanger, and things of that nature. And because of what I saw our older gang members did, how they reacted, and what they said, at the very first opportunity that I made $10,000, I took it to my grandmother, who actually raised me, and I gave it to her. And I told her I wanted her to use that for my funeral because I didn't think I was going to make it to 18.
What are your dreams for this generation and your program?
I wanted to be an awareness of there's a much better way. There's colleges out there, there's apprenticeship programs out there, there's scholarships out there to better yourselves in. We want an awareness. At WOW, we want to show that there's an awareness of a better way of life. We want to get out there that while there's peer pressure, there's some good peer pressure. Good peer pressure to fill out a college application. Good peer pressure to sign up for our military services. Good peer pressure to be cool. Good peer pressure to walk away from the gang.
What is the final message to our youth?
You have to trust yourself and know that you can make a better way yourself. I did. It was me that needed to trust myself that I can do the right thing. And I'm glad I did, because again, I could have been at one of the local funeral homes. I could be at one of the state's prisons, but I had to trust myself in knowing that I can walk away and do the right thing. While it was a struggle, it's rewarding now because, again, of the 200 plus kids maybe that was there, those two gentlemen that stopped, took the time to come over and talk to me, that lets me know it sunk in. And again, and I'll be honest, this message is not for everybody. This program won't be for everybody because you're gonna have some that's just not gonna get it until it's too late. But again, if I can reach one and he can reach one, that's two. And those two individuals reach one, that's four. You get where I'm going, the math will add up. And then eventually, we have a whole community. Then we'll have a whole state. And then we'll have a whole nation that's making a change. I mean, my thing is let's stop funding the state penitentiaries. Let's stop funding these local funeral homes' job. They're getting rich on us. They are. They're getting rich on us. While I want everybody to work, I don't want the epidemic to be because of our young adults.
I'd like to thank you, Al, for stopping by, and I wish you much success with your program. It's not going to be an easy path, but with your help, WOW, and other organizations like it, we'll solve the problem. Thank you for watching. I'm MAYME SANGSTER.
View the world outside of Muskegon Heights. View the world outside of Benton Harbor. View the world outside of Grand Rapids. Learn life. Go to college. If you're a basketball player, get that scholarship. If you're a football player, get that scholarship. God gives his toughest battle to his toughest soldiers. Those same guys that I ran with, they knew that when I walked away, I was going to be as diligent as staying away from it as I was as diligent being in the game. I gave my grandmother $10,000 at 15 years old to bury me because I wasn't expected, my expectation wasn't expected to be past 18 years old. I just celebrated my 44th birthday, so that gives me 26 years of being good.